two community legends coming out right away. First of all, yes, you're excited already. I know it. We've got Erica Kuhl. She is the new EVP and GM at Gainsight. Ooh. She also has a podcast you've probably listened to, In Before the Lock. There's lots of amazing episodes online. And the second amazing person we have coming to the stage is Holly Firestone. This is an easy one to remember because she's the CEO at Holly Firestone Consulting. She also has worked with Atlassian, Salesforce, and on the executive team at Venafi. And these two ladies are going to come to the stage, show you two different ways, two different approaches, but that can really come together and form something amazing. So please welcome Erica and Holly to the stage.
Here we go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. All right, so let's just jump right into it, okay? Because we're running behind and we got a lecture, so here we go. All right, who said this famous quote? If you ain't first, you're last. Does anybody know? You'd think it's Ricky Bobby, but no. It's Erica Kuhl, who thinks that the only way to move is fast. Fast, 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 fast. If you go slow, you're dead in the water. Yeah, that's our Erica Kuhl right there.
Yeah, but if you've ever met Holly, I took a really fabulous picture of her, so just wait. Here it is. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, so Holly, as opposed to me, moves a lot slower, and not literally, but like in her work. Very, but like focused and checks all the boxes and definitely takes a different approach. And I know this is different, but you know, yeah, this is what we decided to talk about today.
Yeah, so Eric and I will talk about ourselves in a minute, or a lot, I don't know, whatever we feel like. But we worked together for a long time. We've been friends for a long time. And when we got together to do this talk, we decided we needed to do something that was very unique to us. And one of the things that we realized where we came together in the best way was that Erica moved things really fast and I was very meticulous and slow. And it was getting us together and finding the balance of those things that really led us to success, especially when we were thinking about something like a launch, right? So it wasn't necessarily go as fast as you can or as slow as you can when you're thinking, what new program am I gonna run? Or, you know, something that you're thinking about doing. It's at the very tail end, like it's time to go, am I ready? And so we came up with a list of questions that we're gonna go over today that you can look at and say, okay, I'm about to launch. Am I ready to rock? Or do I need to slow down? And so that gives you the comfort to be able to decide if you are ready to go. So you can go faster if you answer all these questions the way that we decided help.
Okay, but first, we wanted to introduce ourselves. So if you know, those of you that don't know me, I'm Erica, and I have a newly minted title as of yesterday. I don't know if anyone saw some of the news. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So as of yesterday, I'm now EVP and GM at Gainsight. And it's pretty cool because I'm going to get to be a builder that gets to influence a product, which is really new for our crew. Usually that's not the case. So I'm going to be in charge of the basically the product experience, the community, and the learning. And so we get to have a good voice and a say at what this product does. So that's really fun. But before I did that, as of the day before yesterday, I ran a community consultancy for 5.5 years, and that was really fun. And then before that, I spent many, many moons at Salesforce building community there and started an education business there. So that's that. And then I am from Boulder, Colorado. I'm from here, but I live in Boulder, Colorado. And I have a hubby and 2 kids and a dog named Piper. And my kids, yeah, you have a Piper? Oh, there's Piper. Yeah, there's Piper. Mine's named after the Orange is the New Black Piper. I don't know. Yeah, so that's me. Over to Holly.
Right, a little bit about me. So I am CEO, community strategist at Holly Firestone Consulting. I have been in the community space for well over 15 years. I worked building community at Atlassian, at Salesforce, which is where we did whatever we did. And then I was on the executive team at Venafi, also focused on community. I live in Austin, Texas, hence the little cowboy there. Ooh, hey. Okay, people. I am married to a lovely software developer named Eric. We have 2 kids, Max and Eve, and 2 weenie dogs. Any weenie dog people out here? Because we're crazy people. Hey, okay. There we go. We are crazy people. Just some fun facts about me. A special talent of mine, I was like really digging deep for this, is when you can guess like how many candies are in a jar? I've always been like really good at that for some reason. It's very odd.
Oh wait, also just have to add one thing they're also really good at that's weird like that is the claw machine.
Oh yeah, I am really good. Oh
Like
God,
weirdly,
Sophia's
really
out here
good at the claw
laughing at the
machine.
claw machine. Yep, there she is.
Got it.
Yeah, I am good at the claw machine. And then love Broadway musicals, like think they're the greatest thing in the entire world, and that's all we've been talking about since we've been together. And then the last fact is that I am very recently a cancer survivor, breast cancer survivor. So I'm here in between surgeries and like very happy to be out and about in the world because that's, a whole other situation. So.
Okay, so on to the content. I know you guys have been sitting here for a long time. We're going to get you back on track. But why moving fast is problematic. So
Which is funny you're saying that when we're like,
I'm trying to be
fast.
moving fast.
We're trying to move fast, but let's talk about what is terrible.
That was not supposed to be that way. Okay, so I tend to move too fast. What happens is a bit of collateral damage around me when I do that. Which is why you surround yourself with people that don't to pick up some of those pieces. But the idea is that that's not the case. That's why these questions are going to be wonderful. But I thought I'd give you an example of like what a moving too fast thing can do and how if I had these 7 questions back then, why some of this would not have happened. And so this is a simple example. Back in the day, I was launching the Salesforce MVP program, and it was pretty bare bones, but we were getting everything going. And at the last final moment, is putting together the swag. And the whole point of one of the points of having the MVP program was to have something distinguishable when they came to our big user conference, or just when they were out and about in the Salesforce ecosystem. So something that you really could say, yep, that's an MVP. And so we looked and tried to figure out what we wanted to do, and what we ended up deciding on were these gorgeous rickshaw bags. And rickshaw is the guy that started Timbuktu. Does anyone remember Timbuktu bags? The messenger bags. So he went over and did rickshaw. So we were like, oh, let's start like supporting this cool new brand, rickshaw. And so we're working with him. We made these beautiful bright red bags with a custom insert. Everything was gorgeous. And I was like, good, we're ready to go. I have the budget, let's roll. And so they said, well, we were still in the process of launching this program at the very end, and the logo wasn't quite done, the MVP logo. And I was like, you know what, we gotta get these bags out. We gotta get everybody wearing these bags by Dreamforce. We gotta get it happen, it's gotta happen. And so I made the decision too fast to just put the Salesforce logo on all of these bags. And I don't know about any of you, but you don't really have budget when you're building community. It's very difficult. So I was like, maybe this budget's gonna go away. I gotta get all these bags. So I had tons of these bags with Salesforce logos on them. Well, I bring them to the MVPs and they're like, yeah, these are cool, but like, these just say Salesforce. Like, how does anyone know I'm an MVP? And so I dealt with this for the longest time because they're the absolute most gorgeous bags, but MVPs did not love them because now they didn't have the MVP logo, and I'm stuck now with, not literally anymore, but I was, in the back of the day, stuck with a whole truckload of these beautiful rickshaw bags with the non-branded logo on them. So it's just one example. I know it's a simple one, but there were some really important things I probably could have done back then to make this a lot better. So that's just one example of like me moving too fast through something that probably could have been mitigated.
All right, now I'm going to talk about moving too slow. And it's funny because we both have swag examples, but I was thinking about when I was at Atlassian that I wanted, swag came up all of the time. I'm sure everybody here is like, oh, God, I don't want to talk about swag again. My community members, they're nuts about it. And so we had a user group program, and I wanted to streamline the process of getting the user group leaders swag for their meetings. And so I was trying to build out kind of a version of a swag store, and I got them really excited about it. But in the time that we were building it, I couldn't get any swag out to them. And I just kept waiting and waiting, not doing nothing. I was just like, oh, this logo needs to be moved over 1 millimeter, and not everything's in the store yet. We can't launch it, the process, this and this. And it just kept spinning, and just trying to make sure every last thing was perfect. But in that time, again, they weren't getting any of their swag, and they were getting so pissed off that they were waiting and waiting and waiting for this thing that I said was going to be, revolutionary. And I'm sitting there, putzing over stuff that's not important at all. And so by the time I launched it, they didn't give a shit. They were like, just get us our stuff. We're like so over this.
I don't think you're allowed to say shit.
What?
I don't think you're allowed to say shit.
You just said it twice, and I only said it once.
Okay, keep going.
You're fired. Okay, so anyway, they were not even excited because they had been waiting so long, and they were so frustrated. And there was nothing significant enough to keep me from actually launching that. And instead, I had, a situation on my hands where I had a lot of angry people that were very, very important to us.
What's that? Ah, you got a community member.
So you were? Hey, Fabian, I haven't seen you in 10
Good.
years.
So we can validate this story. Perfect.
Hey, man.
They
You never
waited.
forget a
He doesn't
community
hate
member,
you.
am I right? All right.
Okay, so these are what Holly beautifully named the Ready, Set, Go questions. And so this is definitely something that can apply to a lot of things. But this is a set of questions that we talked through that you basically are going to be able to answer yes or no answers to determine whether you're ready to launch. Now remember, this is not whether you do a program or not. There's a whole other set of considerations and things you have to do to even decide what initiatives that you want to do in the community. But this is when you're about ready to launch, are you ready to go? Do you answer yes or no to these questions? And we're going to introduce scoring and things. So this is something, again, like yes or no, quick. You should be able to answer these questions quickly. And if you are one direction, you probably should not go. And if you are all one direction, you probably should go. So these are things that we wish that we would have known. And so what I want you to do is, this is kind of a workshop-y thing. As we've evolved this session, but I want you to right now, just take a moment, because I know that you've been doing a lot of listening to people talk, but right now it's your time to think. So we're gonna go through these questions, but I want you to come up with a scenario of something you're either about to launch, or you did already launch and maybe didn't go perfect, and that maybe this would have been better. So think for a second, take a moment. I can't see you. Are you thinking? I think you're thinking.
Yes, we're thinking.
Think, please. Okay. So, yeah, it is. I feel the wheels turning.
Right,
Okay.
there's like little light bulbs.
Do you have something? Raise your hand if you have something in your mind. I'm not going to ask you what it is. Just are you thinking of something? Okay, good. So a few of you are thinking. All right. So when you're going through this, what I want you to do is we're going to read these questions out and we're going to talk a little bit about them, and then you in your mind say yes or no. That's all you need to do. In your mind, say yes or no. So first question.
All right. Will this erode our community's trust in its current form? So if you launch right now exactly the way it is it going to piss off your community? Is it going to erase their trust? Did they put a lot of time and energy into helping you put something together that's going to disappear, or may not go well, and then it's just gone forever, or you didn't get the approval? I mean, we'll go through all these questions, but will it upset your community? Will it have them recoil and not want to be involved anymore? I think this is a really, really important one. These aren't in priority order, but this one I would say is probably I mean, they're all very important, but it's very, very important, because the thing is, it's not necessarily like a marketing campaign that you launch, and if it doesn't work, you don't get the numbers you want, and you iterate. You're dealing with people that are very emotionally attached to your community and each other, and so it's very important to make sure that you think through this question
And
first.
wait, before you move on, wouldn't you say, and I'm sure you'd all agree, that it is so hard to gain your community's trust, but is like eroded in a second. So
And then gaining it back?
It's so hard. So
Yeah.
this is a really, really important one. Okay, did you answer in your mind or on a piece of paper? Okay,
They look satisfied.
moving on. Okay, second question. If we don't move forward with this now, will waiting negatively impact our community, our team, and our budget? Okay, this is pretty self-explanatory, but think through this, because I think this is something that you jump right through. I think we think we know best. But answer this question: if we move forward, will this impact negatively our team? As you might, for instance, lose your budget. Is this something that happens to us? You get end of the year money and you have to spend it within a certain amount of time. Do you have to do it because of that? Is that how you answer? Is it going to impact your team? Is your team burnt out? Are they just like, I can't do a single more thing or this is going to lose their mind? There's a million things you can think about, but you have to answer this question, yes or no. It will impact your community themselves, your team, or your budget, because these are all important considerations to it. They've all lost budget, and it's also very hard. Just as hard as it is to get your community's trust as it is to get budget, because especially us, we don't get a lot of budget. So, yes or no?
I'm not sure, did we mention at the beginning there's a point system on here? So at the end, we'll tell you what that all means. So kind of add those up as you're going along as well. Maybe we said that, I don't know.
I don't think we did say that.
I blacked out, I don't know. We're doing a great job up here. It's definitely, between the both of us, we have probably like, if we stack us up on top of each other, we have one real whole human person height. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just doing our shtick up here. All right. After launch, is this something we can easily keep refining and building? So you are ready to launch, you put it out there, and then you realize there's a mistake. What does that look like? Are you going to be able to change it? Is it something that is going to be able to evolve as time goes on? Or is this very much set in stone? It's going to be very difficult to walk it back. You think about something like a migration and migrating data and logins and all that kind of things. Those are things that are very, very hard to walk back on. So thinking about what happens if I launch this and can I fix the problems that might come up, or not even problems, but changes that we might need to make?
I have to jump in because this is the perfect one for the example that I talked about. I quite literally was thinking about getting one of those little stitching needle tools and picking off the logo of all of those bags. No joke. Like, I thought, what can I possibly do? But this, if I had these questions, I wouldn't have gone forward because you cannot undo. You cannot. That is a perfect one.
You didn't want to do like branded seam ripper
swag? I thought about it. You know what I ended up. Can I tell you?
Of course, we have to.
Dawning on
please.
Me. Some of these memories are so old because this is an old memory. But what I ended up doing, I thought this was kind of brilliant. It didn't go over very well, but they're cross bodies, and you remember you used to be able to put the phone holders on the outside of the cross bodies, and that I thought was like, oh, this is brilliant because then I was ready for the MVP logo. But there's so many different size phones. Like, what an idiot. So it kind of was a waste, but. Can't undo, couldn't undo it.
And they were probably annoyed.
They were so annoyed, because then they were annoyed again, because then they couldn't use that weird little attachment.
Right, and then you were annoyed because they're like, this is the size of my phone, and they were like, and then, that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
This tracks. This very much tracks.
So much drama.
My life. Okay, here we go. Next question is, this is tactical, and this is great. Do we have all the right internal approvals? Yes or no? Think in your mind. Don't forget, you have a job out there to do, because we're going to meet in a second. This is more tactical, like, did you literally check all the boxes? Did you cross all the T's, dot all the I's? Make sure you have the approvals, because the last thing you need is to get all the way to the finish line and forget that you forgot to talk to finance or legal or one little thing that you didn't, and that's going to restrict you from going forward. Did you get all of them? Now, this doesn't have to be all. It has to be the most important ones, because I'm not trying to turn you into me or Holly. This is a good combination of both of us together, where you both are agile and you also go slow enough. So do you have all the right internal approvals? Anything to add there? No? Okay. Great.
If this doesn't work as is, will the cost to fix it be a major hit to our budget? So we've keep bringing up, like, a lot of community teams don't have a lot of budget. And so if you put all of your eggs in one basket and it doesn't work, what happens? Or if it doesn't work and you need to pay to fix it somehow, like, do you have the cushion to do that? So before you launch, thinking through, are we ready? If something happens, we are not ready, do we have is it gonna be just a giant mess to try to fix it, at least on our budget side? And if it is, then maybe you're going to need to take a little step back and think through a few more things. So budget's definitely something that we think about a lot and talk about a lot.
Okay, next question. Have we set clear expectations with our leadership about what this will look like at launch? This is something that I fall victim to, and I'm sure a lot of you too. We think we know what we're talking about. We do know what we're talking about, but often other people don't. And we make a lot of assumptions that people do understand what we're talking about. So have you done that? Have you taken out all the assumptions and clearly identified what it's going to look like. Because we've all been there where we get something out into the wild and it looks totally different than what they expected, and then we have to walk it back. And what's that going to look like? How's that going to impact? Then the rest of the questions start coming back again. But have you done that? Have you taken out all of that assumptions and put that out?
And I would just add that this isn't necessarily just about the program itself, right? Like, if you are launching in a state and they think it's like a perfectly wrapped up in a bow, finalized state, and it's not, like, you need to express that to them, because maybe they will want you to stop and take some more time to do X, Y, and Z, because that's something that's really important to them, and that's something they value, you know, in their role as a leader, or something that you don't know about. So I think, you know, being really thoughtful about that conversation and honest with that conversation, so they know what it looks like. And especially if they're pushing you to move too fast. Here I go again, I'm like, oh, too fast. But if they're, I don't know anyone who's done that to me, but especially if they are pushing you to move too fast, say, okay, we're gonna go, but I want you to know this is what it's gonna look like, and these are the outcomes that might happen because of it. Do you think, does that outweigh, you know, us and the timeline that we're trying to meet? A lot of times an executive will be like, go, 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 and you kind of just prepare yourself for that, but you have to set the right expectations so nobody's surprised.
And that also means impact too. I think the impact of what, you know, you can say, okay, this is what it's gonna look like. Does this look like what you think? And they say, go, 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 and you're like, okay, we're gonna get this augmented reality of what this program's going to do. And if we wait, this is what it's gonna look like. So it's good to kind of map out all the different options for sure.
Because getting fired, not fun, not cool. You don't want to get fired.
No, you don't want to get fired.
I mean, you used to fire me.
I fired you daily, though.
Daily. She'd be like, you are fired. It didn't matter what I said. We got in a fight over a loaf of bread, and she was like, you are fired, like every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
It was really a mentally healthy place for me to be.
All right, and the last, this is you. Sorry. I think I'm talking so much in the last one that I thought it was mine. You.
Okay, have we done our due diligence? So all of these things, of course, are part of your due diligence, and obviously as you are building a program, you have a million things to do that would qualify as due diligence. But at the very end, you're thinking, have we talked to the people internally that this is going to impact right off the bat at launch? Are they going to be surprised at the launch date? You know, make sure there's no surprises for the people that especially that you're working with. You've already talked to them at this point. They know this program is happening. They know it's going to roll out. You know, you're not just surprising them with this and saying, we're launching tomorrow. But at least they know, and they know what the launch kind of timeline looks like too. So what does that mean in the days after as well? So that's a piece of due diligence, but also you need to talk to the members of your community before you launch anything. Now that should be part of this whole lead up as you're going, obviously, but before you launch, just that last check with some trusted community members to get their feedback, because you are building this community for them. So they are the people that will give you the best feedback, and then give yourself a cushion of time if you need it to fix those things, which we're gonna kind of go into.
Yeah, not to bring it back to the MVP logo thing again, but this is probably a perfect example of I could have just gone to a little cohort of them and said, hey, Dreamforce, you're not gonna have these bags, but if you wait, you'll get this bag with this branded logo. And they probably would have been like, cool, just like put a sticker on our badge or something, and they did say that. So it's like, if I just would have brought them into the fold and asked that question to myself and asked it of them, then they would have told me. Let's pause. We'd rather have an amazing piece of swag with a very elite logo than a generic one.
That actually reminds me, when I first started at Salesforce, my first Dreamforce with the MVPs, I created these shirts that said Salesforce MVP, and on the back it said, ask me anything. Remember that? And I didn't ask them about it first. And they're like, we're not just your little information people running around. And blah, blah, blah. I hope none of y'all are in the... but they were really, really upset about it. All I had to do was just ask them first, you know, what do y'all think of this design? And give them, I could have given them exactly what they wanted. And I didn't, because that time I moved too fast for once in my life.
Oh, it's my fault. I'm guaranteed. I think I told you to do that. But anyway.
I mean, yeah, actually... I'll give you that. Yeah, it was totally your fault.
Well, you probably started like 36 seconds before that Dreamforce anyway. But yeah, that was and then you think about these other things, because it starts, now that I'm thinking about it, it starts cascading to these other questions, and it starts eroding trust. And it undoes.
You don't know us. You don't care about us.
I think
the
that's
whole thing.
why we're going to get to the scoring guide in a second, but that's why every one of these needs to be answered properly. That's why it's a yes or no, is that it can't just be some of them. It has to be all of them.
Yeah.
And otherwise you don't. You either go slower or go faster. All right, so should we move on to okay, did you do it? Did you keep track of your initiative? Okay.
Okay,
Have
we
it
got
in your
one.
mind?
We got one. That's all we need, right?
Yeah, thank you for playing along here. All right.
Okay, awesome. So, moving on to the scoring. So, like Erica said, you've got to make sure that all the questions are answered correctly. It's not yes or no across the board for all of them. Some are yes, some are no. But if you scored 7 points exactly, go. Okay, you can feel comfortable. Now, I will add this caveat that every organization is different, and some things matter to some organizations more than others, or there's always some kind of weird piece of this. So you can definitely customize this to fit your needs, but generally, if you're like, okay, ready to launch, let me just go through these questions. All of them should get you 7 points. They should always yield 7 points. If it's 8 to 10 points, it means you are close, or maybe you're not sure on something and you need to dig a little deeper on that. So slow down. Just think through a couple more things. It doesn't mean your timeline has to be completely destroyed, but take a moment and think through how you can fix some of the things on the list that maybe you're unsure about. And then the last one is stop. Especially if you're at 14 points, you are not ready to launch. Like, your launch date, I don't know when it is, but if it's like, really, really soon, in the next week, 2 weeks, whatever, you are not ready. You need to go back and really think through all of these different pieces, and maybe even some of the steps before that, because this is supposed to be like a quick, yes, no, ready to go. And
that's why I think that's why it's so good. It's a good methodology. It's a yes or no. So as you were going through, you probably wanted to say, but maybe, but what if? And if really truly you're doing this right, and you're just making these last final steps to go slow or go fast, it should just tally up, and it should be easy. Because already I'm thinking in my mind as I was going through this, I was like, but nope. If you have to answer yes or no, then it comes down to points. It comes down to points.
Yeah, I think when we were coming up with this methodology and this exercise, it's so funny because we did go back and forth and hem and haw over the details within each of these questions. But the whole point of this is to go fast but precise. And so that's kind of what led us to this point. But we did hem and haw, as we do.
We always hem and haw. Yeah. We're doing it right now. So
everybody's here to witness this ridiculousness.
Sorry for you. All right. Okay, remember now. This is some of you are in group format. I know some of you are in the back or not in group format. But I do want you to take a moment, and we're going to just let you talk to each other. So I know that there's some of you that were thinking through this, some of you that weren't. But maybe what you could do is now just turn to your people that are either in the back or together, and we're going to give you a couple of minutes, and we're going to put back up the questions, and we're going to let you talk through it a little bit about it. And if you did do it and you want to share, or someone else has something else they want to talk through, and then give you a couple of minutes to talk through that. And so we'll put back up the questions. Is that all right? So here they all are in one long laundry list. And remember, yes, no, and then we will score it later if you didn't do it. But try to be very precise, and try to have something in your mind that you're about ready to do, or that you've already done and you wish you would have had this.
Okay, everybody wind down your thoughts. We'll give you 30 seconds to kind of hoopity.
And then when you wind down, we will review, since I went too fast with the slides, we will review the
It was
scoring.
me this time. You've had a really negative impact on my life, apparently, because I'm going too fast.
Aww.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, we're going to review the scoring, and then you have to rescore unless you already caught your mistakes. But so, Holly, we recap the scoring. Do you want to recap?
You want me to do it? I've already proved myself here. Okay,
Yeah.
you good.
Thank you. You got this,
Thank
Holly.
you. Are you doing it?
You're doing it.
Okay. Will this erode our community's trust in its current form? If the answer is yes, that's a problem, so you will have the 2 instead of the 1. If it's a no, you can score 1. If we don't move forward with this now, will waiting negatively impact our community, our team, and our budget? If the answer is yes, negative impact, probably not a good thing, so you're going to score that 2. You're going to score no 1. Are you doing any of these?
Just keep going. I like just standing here supporting you. Here. Keep going.
I don't know what you're about to do to me. It's very uncomfortable.
I was gonna put my arm around you.
Okay. Okay. After launch, is this something that we can easily keep refining and building? Yes, you want to keep refining and building it, so that is a 1. No is a 2. Do we have all the right internal approvals? Anyone want to guess which one you want to be, a yes or a no?
Yes.
There you go. So that one's a 1, no is a 2. If this doesn't work as is, will the cost to fix it be a major hit to our budget? Yes is a 2, no is a 1. Have we done our due diligence? No is a 2, yes is a 1. I'm just going all over the place here now.
Yeah.
Have we set clear expectations with our leadership about what this will look like at launch? Anyone? What's the answer here that you want to have? Yes, clear expectations, obviously a lovely thing, so yes.
All right. Okay, now that you've done that, who got a big, huge high score? Anybody get a big, huge high score?
Oh, nobody wants to admit
Nobody?
it. Oh, hey, Pisani.
Yeah?
Pisani's
It's
like,
okay.
maybe.
I like it. Okay,
It's not supposed to be a
I think they
maybe
got a high
thing. It's a
score
yes,
down
no.
here too. Anyone else get a pretty high score? Okay, couple people. Anyone get like a middle tier score, like a yellow light? All right, that sounds about right. And anyone get like a go? Okay, couple. All right. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is this is just really like something, originally we wanted to try something different. It's very community related, but I feel like this is something you can run through in your own mind in many, many different other scenarios. But I think that this is something that I really, really wish I would have had in my back pocket, in my life, and definitely in my community launches for sure.
Right, and I think that is, it's a really good learning too, because when we came together, there was a lot of almost friction, because I wanted everything to be perfect, like I said, and Erica was wanting to move very, very quickly because she had a lot of pressure coming down on her from the leadership team. But really, ultimately, what we understood was the mix of both is what got us to be the most successful. And let's remove the stick. But anyway, I calmed down. And Erica was a little bit more methodical about her choices. And we still definitely skew one way or the other in every situation. But, we check each other a lot, which I think is important. So I think another lesson learned there, and why it's so great that we're speaking together, because we are buddies, and we became buddies because we worked together so well. And that's listening to each other and finding your strengths and your areas to improve, and then feeding off of each other. So if you are leading a team, this is a really important exercise too, because you're thinking about the way you balance each other out as well.
You could, if you don't have a team, which I'm sure many of you don't, you can also do this with someone else that is your yin to your yang. So if you're the one that's the go-go, find someone else that's a bit more methodical, run these questions by them, work with them.
Yeah, and customize them for your use cases too.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting you back on track. That is a wrap. My name is Erica with a C, last name with a K. People get this wrong all the time. That's how you can find me everywhere. And yeah, I'm easy to find. And I'm going to be here.
You are not easy to find.
Yeah, I'm a little person, but I move very fast, but you will find me. I'm also hanging out. So
She's just buzzing around all the time. And
yeah. But
she'll be like a shadow. Yeah, and I'm Holly Firestone. That is Holly with an H and Firestone with a fire and a stone, like the tire. All right, yeah, you've seen our variety show. Thank you. And come find us, ask questions, anything that you need. We're here, and then we'll be heading back to Erica's parents' house after this. So please, ask any questions. Thank you.